and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Here's the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I try to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
Get your words straight, Jack.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon lately, chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is, let's go Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of government. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
I am not up to the job.
Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, everybody comes in, your grandmother.
Testing, testing, testing. Do you read? Do you read? Testing. Well, I guess you can't read audio. I mean, you can, I guess, if you're blind. Is that how it works? Wait, no. You can't read. No, then I guess if you're deaf, you could read audio. I'm sorry. My apologies to the blind people out there. They can hear me, so I got to apologize to them. Hello, users, and welcome to another broadcast experience. I had some leftover pizza this morning, and I poured this hot sauce. I got this hot sauce recently, like a week ago. It's like a scorpion pepper, ghost pepper, reaper pepper blend. And it's pretty fucking hot. Anyway, so I put a shitload of that on some leftover pizza approximately 8 minutes ago. And so my lips are a little on fire. You know what I mean? Also, I've got this discoloration. Like, this has been here for like a little while now. Like, is this just like, this is my new face? Like, is that what I'm dealing with? This is my new face. I got this discoloration. A lot of people tell me I have clear skin. Well, not anymore, apparently, because I've got this, like, weird, like, you see that? It's like, it's not a pimple. It's definitely not a pimple. Is it, like, a bug bite or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'm fucked, in other news. And not in the good dick way. And so we got a show going on. Today, we got a program. And, so today we got a show. Line the show up. I just poured a second cup of coffee. So this is me on one cup. Cup 2 begins. All right. So we got a program today. And is this the part where I'm old enough to like tell people younger than me, like, you won't have this goddamn back in my day. This is me like holding on to my walker. Back in my day, I used to goddamn too, and you ain't goddamn. Like, is this what this symbolizes? This discoloration on my face is I finally transcended into the realm of being an old fucking shit fuck, and yeah, you know how like the people have like the walkers that are one hand, and then they've got like the fucking 4-footed walkers. Right, they have to have both hands on it. They have to have both fucking hands on it. They gotta go like, goddamn, and then it makes that noise. You know that noise that it makes. You ever meet one of these old motherfuckers? I got grandparents. You know, I had some grandparents. I had a lot more than I have now, but I'd still have some grandparent, singular. And like but all of them, whenever they would have this thing, it was like click, click, click. You know. So anyway, Tyler, as the resident young motherfucker, you're going to get some of these pretty soon here. Your old person voice is annoying? Yeah, okay. I'm old! You don't like that? Is that offensive to you, Tyler? Is that fucking offensive to you? You ever see fucking like Gran Torino? That's the kind of old person I'm going to be. I'm going to shoot some motherfuckers with my shotgun, let me tell you. You can hear them coming from miles away. It's true. Click, click, click. You know, the only way that you're fucking free from that noise is when they're on carpet. You ever, like, these motherfuckers transfer from, like, the hardwood or, like, the fucking laminate tiling in the kitchen to the bathroom to the fucking carpet? It's like a godsend. Anyway. Got a show going on today, doing a program. I am personally offended by this. Well, whatever. Y'all, I gotta say, I don't know what this, like, discoloration is. Like, should I be concerned? I'm not sure. Like, I need to find a way to hide it. You know, this is gonna be my new way of streaming, is I'm gonna do, like, that, you know, that part where it's, like, it goes on one eye, you know? Hey, it's right in the middle of my face. That's the problem. Like, it's right in the middle of my face, right? So like I would need to like yeah, that's right. I'm the emo kid. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm depressed. Right, that's gonna be my new look. I don't know. Like, what do I do with this? I don't know. But you know. Anyway, you see this like flow here on this hair. If only this was on the opposite side of my face, right? If my hair was like inverted, then I'd be able to do that. Anyway, got a show going on today. Rumor has it you drank a lot last night and experienced your first ever hangover. Is that true? I didn't have any alcohol yesterday. But I did do some mushrooms. So, but I'll talk about that later in the show. Because I got some movie reviews. I watched a couple of bangers. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. But you know who's not feeling good? Missouri's top mental health official balked at new homeless law. The governor signed it anyway. So we're talking about Missouri today. Does anyone live in Missouri? Anyone out there watching the show today live in Missouri? Well, you know, this is some local news for you. Jefferson City. Governor Mike Parson ignored the concerns of one of his cabinet members about signing a new law targeting Missouri's homeless population. Whoa, the homeless population? Why are they being targeted and how? In a May letter obtained by the Post-Dispatch, Missouri Department of Mental Health Director Valerie Hun told the governor's budget office that the law will have negative impacts on people living on the streets and could exacerbate their problems rather than fix them. Quote, when people experiencing homelessness have criminal justice histories, it is difficult to find housing, Hun wrote. Parson, who announced Hun's selection as the director in December, signed the Republican-backed measure into law in June. What's being signed here, right? What's going on? The law, which goes into effect Jan 1, 23, makes it a felony to sleep on state-owned land, such as under a highway overpass and bridges. After one warning, anyone found illegally camping on state-owned land could face a $750 fine or a Class C misdemeanor charge, punishable by up to 15 days in prison. Isn't that insane? Isn't that fucking crazy, these people? Like, all the money that they're spending on police to, like, beat the shit out of homeless people, right? Like, all the money that they're spending on this, they could just give motherfuckers housing. Like, The law authorizes the state attorney general to sue cities that don't enforce the ban. It further penalizes cities with rates of homelessness higher than the state average by taking away state funding for unhoused services. So if you don't beat the shit out of homeless people for entertainment, we're going to defund the services for homeless people. You see how fucked up this is? So, like, now, like, the cities are going to be like, oh, well, we want to keep our housing programs, so we're going to have to get our cops to beat the shit out of homeless people anyway. Like, what? The measure also bars cities and organizations from using state and federal grants to build permanent housing for the unsheltered. Rather, that money must be directed to build temporary camps. So again, now cities aren't even allowed to fix the problem. Let's say there's one city in Missouri that's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to solve homelessness. Now they're going to be sued by the state for building public housing. Isn't that insane? People wanting to stay at the temporary camps must submit to mental health and substance use evaluations, which contradicts the current federally backed Housing First model, which says no one should have to meet requirements to seek shelter. That's the thing, right? Is if you have a house to live in, like, orders of magnitude, you're going to be like 7,000% more likely to kick whatever drug addiction you're on than if you're in a camp. Like, and if you, like, make one mistake and relapse one time, the government's going to kick you out onto the street. Like, I really, like, the way that Republicans dehumanize homeless people, and the reason why they do this, you might be wondering, why are homeless people so targeted in society? The answer is because homeless people's existence is a stick that beats on the lower class, middle class, and so on. It is a stick that beats them into submission. You don't want to become homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to be homeless, so you go to work every day like a good little drone. You don't want to So you follow all the steps, be the cog in the machine that is society. And you know what? Fuck it. Sometimes we'll just make you homeless anyway. Mila, is this law or legislation? The governor signed it in June. Hun has a long history as an administrator in state government, having worked at the Office of Administration, the Governor's Budget Office, the Department of Social Services, and Department of Health and Senior Services. She joined DMH as chief of its Division of Developmental Disabilities in 2014, was named the department's deputy director in 2020. So this person, the person that leads like the mental health group or whatever in the government administration, she's like the only one sounding the alarm on this. Everyone else is like, fuck it. We'll kill a couple more homeless people. Who cares? Let's have some fun. Maybe my son will be a cop. Maybe they'll get their first kill. Because they treat homeless people like fucking like deer in like the woods, right? They just like go hunting for them and beat the shit out of them at every fucking cost. And again, is a homeless person gonna get a lawyer and sue the police department? Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Anyway, so you can read the rest of this. But it's not good. It's not good. And of course, you know, whenever you see this thing, oh, I don't live in Missouri, I'm fine. If you live in any red states, like the way red states function in this country is, look at the abortion thing. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later too. Red states, one of them will put together like a test balloon, right? They'll say, okay, does this work? All right, we're going to basically make homelessness a felony. By the way, that strips them of the right to vote. Very convenient. And so, okay, so does this work? Are people going to let that happen? Right? One person's like, yeah, that's fucked up. And then everyone else is like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about homeless people. Right? The lower class, I don't give a shit about homeless people. The middle class, I don't give a shit about homeless people. The wealthy, the upper class, they don't fucking care. Like, in fact, they're the ones drafting this legislation. No one gives a fuck. No one's going to respond to this. No one's going to do anything about it. And then other red states are going to go like, oh shit, they just got away with it. And no one even knows or cares. Now let's do that here. Except they're going to make the bills worse and worse and worse. So that's how this shit happens. Look at like what Texas did with the abortion bounty bullshit. They just did that, right? And then other states started copying it. Look at Florida with the Don't Say Gay bill. They just did it. They lied about it every step of the way. They put it through anyway. And then other states are like, oh shit, they can just do that? They can make it like being gay and being a teacher illegal? Oh great, let's just do that here, but make it fucking 5 times worse. Let's do that here, let's make it 10 times worse. Right, so, you know, again, you think, oh, I don't live in Missouri, I'm safe. And the same way the people with the abortion stuff think, oh, I live in California, I'm safe. Well, because once they're done with all the red states, you know what they're going to do next? That's right. The federal government, once they take control of that shit again. And that's why it is so important that Republicans do not win any election ever. I really cannot. I just can't. Words do not exist in the English language that can accurately summarize why you need to be voting against Republicans every step of the way. I don't care about whatever other fucking cringe lord shit you want to come up with, your own personal moral philosophy. Like you're fucking like Lucky and King of the Hill. Like you just got that fucking code or whatever. Like go fuck yourself. Go fuck your code. Fuck your morals. Fuck your philosophies. I don't give a fuck. But if you don't vote for fucking Democrats when Democrats have a chance of beating Republicans, this is the shit that happens. And then the people go like, oh, but it's accelerationism. It's going to get bad before it gets better. Right? Okay, we tried accelerationism in 2016. And then what happened? We got Joe fucking Biden, right? So great fucking strategy. You did a really wonderful job, right? Oh, wow. We're going to vote for Trump. And then next time we'll get a left-winger in. And what did we get? Joe Biden. So, Riley, all the data, all the evidence goes against your theory. Accelerationism sucks. It's a religion. It's faith-based. Faith, what is faith? It's belief in things that are not only just, there's no evidence for them, but all the evidence that does exist proves that it's false, and you believe in it anyway. So fuck accelerationism. You're dumb. Vote for Democrats, especially in these red states. I mean, Jesus Christ, right? Like, you have states in the South, right, that are majority black, and yet majority of the state legislatures are like white supremacists. How is that possible? Because they fucking cheat every step of the way, right? So and then no one cares. There's no critical mass of people that are going to fight back against it. So it's the combination of no one caring, and then anyone that does care, they don't have enough power and influence to do anything about it. So we're just going to get perpetually fucked. Anyway, I'm ranting and raving, but yeah. Anyway, Republicans, man, Jesus Christ, right? Fuck. Some fucked up motherfuckers in this country. We got some fucked up motherfuckers. Oh. Oh. Fucked up, motherfuckers. Fucked up, motherfuckers. Fucked up, motherfuckers. Yo, just a FYI, like an announcement for those of you that don't know. At the top of your chat room, you might see Top Chat. If you click the words Top Chat, you'll see a drop down that says Top Chat or Live Chat. Top Chat is YouTube's filter. It filters out like any message with nasty words. If you're new to this, if you never knew this before, I would love to educate you. In this chat room, we use live chat in this chat room. So if you're ever wondering like who I'm talking to, what the fuck's going on, you missed a message, you might be on Top Chat, click that and click it to live chat every single time you watch any stream ever, especially my show. So just throwing that out there in case, I haven't said that in like a year or so, but just throwing that out there. Another thing that I'll throw out here is you can give me money. It's an option. It's an option. You don't have to. It's not mandatory, but you should. You should give me money. It's something that you should do. It's like a moral imperative. You don't have to, right? But you can and you should. So anyway, so just throwing that out there. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, just throwing that out there. A little bit of I'm advertising myself here. That's I'm not that good at it, but I'm trying it anyway. And then you can give me money, and if you give me money, I'll be happy. It's honestly it's that simple. It's that motherfucking simple. You just give me money, and then I'm happy. So there you go. I mean, it's a great investment, let me tell you. It's a great investment. Once again, I'm also going to tease, I'm working on projects, some of which will be made public by the end of the year. Working on some projects. I could tell you what these projects are. I'm not gonna. But one thing I will tell you is I should have a guest on Friday. I should. Unless this motherfucker, like, forgets or something. But I should have a guest on Friday. And also, you should know who they are. So, leave it at that. And maybe I'll tell you in a couple days from now. But I should have a guest on Friday. And you should know who they are. So, and if you don't know who they are, then that's wonderful. I'll be glad to introduce you. But I would be shocked if anyone in this chat room is unaware. So anyway, needless to say, they're more popular than I am. But anyway, so that's a little bit of house cleaning. I don't actually clean my house that I live in, but I clean my house on YouTube. I'm trying to catch up on the clip uploading. I'm a couple days behind on the Above It All clips that I'm posting on the channel. And so I posted a bunch this morning. I want to get back. I always fall into this thing where it's like, I do a show where I do like 18 segments or something. And then I'm behind for like weeks. I'm always posting like 2-day old shit. And I got to get back on that daily posting. But I'm trying to catch up. Repeat guest or a new guest? I don't think I've ever had this person on the show. So I don't think so. I guess not. All right. Anyway, let's do a program. Let's do a program. All right. Confusion post-Roe spurs delays, denials for some life-saving pregnancy care, miscarriages, and ectopic pregnancies and other common complications are now scrutinized, jeopardizing maternal health. So this is the problem with these dumb motherfuckers, and this is why anyone that goes into this argument with exceptions for rape and incest, I'm sorry, that's a fascist talking point. If you're a liberal and you're like, oh, look, they're not even doing, first of all, or if you're a liberal and you're arguing like abortion is bad, but exceptions for rape and incest make it, I need you to go fuck yourself. I need you to go fuck yourself. I need you to go fuck yourself. Please, please, please stop watching my video. Pause this fucking shit and go fuck yourself immediately. Immediately. If you're at work, right, go into the bathroom. If you're driving your car for whatever reason, pull over immediately. Upon hearing this, if you think that the talking about exceptions for rape and incest, if you think that that's a worthy talking point, I need you to immediately stop whatever you're doing. Call in. If you're about to go to work, call in sick and go fuck yourself, okay? And not in the good dick way. So, but you might be wondering, now that you're back, now that you've unpaused this video, you're back. I hope that, you know, you had a good fucking of yourself, right? Because probably no one else is going to fuck you. But anyway, so hopefully you're feeling good. You got that post-nut clarity. So now let's get into why you're a stupid motherfucker. Because when you put, like, in a total abortion ban, except for rape and incest, right? How do you prove rape or incest? Or, like, except for life of the mother, how do you prove that your life is in stake? A doctor needs to do a checkup on you, and then they need to verify that your life is at stake. But whenever that happens, doctors will have to go through years and years of litigation. Why? Well, because the right is going to sue that doctor. They're going to say, oh, her life wasn't actually at stake. Oh, she was fine, etc., etc. So that means, right, a doctor is going to be, every time that there's two ways here. So there's one, objectivity. Your life is objectively at stake. There's like an 80% chance you're going to die. But if, you know, you might survive, right? How do you weigh these odds, right? And then there's the subjectivity. Do I want to go through, I'm an abortion caregiver, right? Do I want to go through possibly 3 to 4 years of court battles and litigation? Do I want to go through this? Now, again, you might think, oh, the Hippocratic Oath, of course a doctor is going to help someone in their time of need. Well, first of all, you'd be wrong. Doctors don't really care about that shit. Now, a lot of them do. There's a lot of great doctors. But again, even great doctors, right? Imagine, like, imagine 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they've already got like 8 pending lawsuits. Is it really going to be worth adding another one? Right? Like, so again, I need you to understand this whole talking point about exceptions for life of the mother, rape, whatever the fuck. I want you to go fuck yourself. I want you to go fuck yourself. You are falling into the fascist trap. This is why I say fuck Roe v. Wade from the left. Fuck that shit. I want total access to abortion. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if your life is fine. I don't care if your life is not fine. Now again, if the fetus, I call them parasites, if the parasite can survive outside the womb, great. Great. Take that baby out and do whatever you can with it. But again, if the parasite cannot survive outside the womb, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about that goddamn shit. Now again, to be honest with you, I don't really care either way. But, right, like again, like, so this idea of like, oh, post-birth abortion or like, oh, 3rd trimester abortion, I don't give a shit. Do a fucking C-section, take that motherfucker out, throw it in the fucking bathtub. I don't fucking care, okay? Right? Again, I am sick of this fucking language bullshit, right? We've seen so many cases where people like someone in Georgia had a miscarriage and then they got sent to jail for a miscarriage. There was no medical intervention. There was no like doctor that like, you know, said, oh, okay, they just had a miscarriage and they were sent to fucking jail and now we're going through like possibly years of court battles, right? So again, I need you to go fuck yourself with this talking point, right? I'm not pro-choice. I'm pro-abortion, okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about this. Abortions should be safe and rare. I don't give a fuck about that shit. As far as I'm concerned, if abortion gets totally legalized with no restrictions and abortion skyrocket, fuck it. That's a good thing. All right? And do we really need so many of these stupid fucking kids running around? Like, I mean, kids are fine, right, most of the time. But do we really need, like, people that can't, like, that don't have the resources to take care of their kids? Do we really need 10-year-olds having children? Like, what the fuck is that going to do to the child? Do we really need these children in our lives? No, we don't. So fuck you, fuck your talking points, and fuck you. So anyway, now with all that preamble, let's read this article from the Washington Post. A woman with a life-threatening ectopic pregnancy sought emergency care at the University of Michigan Hospital after a doctor in her home state worried that the presence of a fetal heartbeat meant treating her might run afoul of new restrictions on abortion. Again, the doctor said, I know your life is at stake, but I am sorry, I just can't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. And again, can you really blame the doctor? Because let's say the doctor does it, and then they go to jail for 40 years, right? So again, this is the exact scenario that I've been talking about on my show, that anyone with a brain would be talking about. This exact scenario was happening all over the fucking country. At one Kansas City, Missouri hospital, administrators temporarily required pharmacist approval before dispensing medications used to stop postpartum hemorrhages, because they can also be used for abortions. So let's say you have the child. Boom. The kid's there. Right? They're babbing away like a fucking dumbass. Right? And then you're about to bleed to death. You're about to bleed to death. And so you need to have, you can't just get medication right away. Oh, no. We got to debate whether or not you're actually, do you have another kid up there? Let's get a magnifying glass. Oh, what's going on? Do you have, I think I see 2 of them growing in there. Sorry, we can't, you're going to bleed to death. I'm sorry. Jesus fucking Christ. And in Wisconsin, a woman bled for more than 10 days from an incomplete miscarriage after emergency room staff would not remove the fetal tissue amid a confusing legal landscape that has roiled obstetric care. Okay, so again, you have a miscarriage. You didn't do anything fucking wrong. Your body was just like, there was a glitch in the system. It didn't fucking work. It happens. Miscarriages are common. It's not like a miscarriage is like, oh, 1 in a million. No, it actually happens all the time. It happens every day, right? So imagine you have a miscarriage. That's already fucking sad enough, right? Let's say you were planning on having this baby. You were really looking forward to it. And then the fucking miscarriage happens. Damn, that's heartbreaking. And now you've got internal bleeding and no one's going to help you. You are literally dying. You might die and you can't go to the hospital. Now imagine if you got hit by a car, right, and you broke your both legs, and you go to the emergency room, and they're like, oh, sorry. We can't do leg surgery. Sorry, we just can't do it, because some Republican made a law. We can't do leg surgery? What the fuck? What the fuck? Now, I would go as far as to say that all of these laws, these abortion bans, I'd go as far as to say that they violate the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. What is the 13th Amendment? Right, it's the one that bans slavery. It bans forced labor. So I'm saying, what do we call it? When someone is going into what? They're going into labor. And if the government is forcing them to go into labor, I don't know, man. That sounds like forced fucking labor. If the government says, if you don't go into labor, we will send you to jail, which then they will put you to fucking work in another way, right? Either way, you're fucked. You're a second-class citizen. You have no rights. And that's the thing about this. This is so horrifying. Is these people are literally forcing everyone, half of their states are all second-class citizens now. Immediately, overnight, when these bills pass. It's insane. It's fucking crazy-ass shit. In the 3 weeks of turmoil since the Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right to an abortion, many physicians and patients have been navigating a new reality in which the standard of care for incomplete miscarriages, ectopic pregnancies, and other common complications is being scrutinized, delayed, or even denied, jeopardizing maternal health, according to accounts of doctors in multiple states where new laws have gone into effect. While state abortion bans typically carve out exceptions when a woman's life is endangered, the laws can be murky, prompting some obstetrician, I can't pronounce this word, my dyslexia doesn't work, obstetricians, to consult lawyers and hospital ethics committees on decisions around routine care. So again, you are dying, you are bleeding out, and the doctor's like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to have a couple phone calls, and then they're in the other room for like 3 hours, right? All you see them through the glass going like, woo, right? Like, you know, and then they come in and they tell you, I'm sorry, we can't save your life. You're literally, I'm sorry, we can't save your life. You are going to die here. I'm sorry, you will die in probably about 3 hours. Nothing we can do. Sorry. Imagine having to go through that scenario. Like, imagine one day, right? You had a baby shower, right? All your friends go around the fucking thing. Like, you wake up, you have a baby shower. It's like 2 o'clock. Your friends come here, you get a crib, you get a fucking one of those like rocking horses. Like, damn, you got like a whole big box of diapers. You are ready to go. Then 4 p.m., you're cutting the cake. Boom. You're in the hospital. Fuck, you had a miscarriage. Now, not only is that a horrifying, terrifying, absolutely depressing experience to go through, but then you find out you've got internal bleeding. And then the doctors tell you, sorry, we can't save your life. You are going to bleed out and die here. You wake up excited for your baby shower. You're going to fucking have a baby any minute now. Then you die in the hospital because doctors aren't doing anything. And that's happening. That's what's happening in this country. And Republicans are like, yeah, fucking slut. What? What? Republicans are insane. I need you to understand, they're insane. Like, there is no good Republican. I'm talking about voters. I'm talking about politicians. There is no good Republican. There is no, oh, I'm a Republican, but I'm pro-choice. If you vote for Republicans, you're not pro-choice. You're a dumbass, okay? There is no good Republican. Your uncle who's a Republican, piece of shit motherfucker. Your dad's who's a Republican, piece of shit motherfucker. There is no such thing as a good Republican. It's a made-up myth. It's a fairy tale. It's like Santa Claus. It's like the Easter Bunny. It's like God, motherfucker. It's made up. Someone somewhere made it up and they told you this fucking lie, and you need to fucking get rid of that shit in your brain. That is misinformation. That is disinformation. It's like that episode of fucking King of the Hill where like fucking Lucky's trying to get the fucking GED. I was watching King of the Hill recently. Lucky's trying to get a GED and then Peggy's the substitute teacher, so he teaches him. But then he teaches Lucky that 2 + 2, it equals 6. What? Equals 6, right? That's disinformation, motherfucker. You got lied to. There is no good Republican. Whoever told you that lied to you. Maybe they didn't lie to you on purpose. Maybe someone else lied to them and then they just passed down that lie. But I need you to understand there is no such thing as a good Republican. It's made up. It's made up. And I'd be willing to go as far as to say there's no such thing as a good Christian as well. Like, oh, you can be a Republican, you can be a Christian and be fine to communicate with or talk to on an interpersonal level. But overall, you are a net negative on society. Overall, you are a fucking destructor of society. I don't give a shit if you're fun at parties. If you're a Republican, if you're one of these Christian motherfuckers, I don't like you at this point in time. Because these good Christians, and I'm going to go into more on Christians later, these good Christians, how do you square this away? How do you like, oh, God's great, God and Jesus are wonderful, and they're going to help us all? Except the world is getting worse, our rights are being stripped away, and God's nowhere to be found. But he's great! And Jesus is watching me jerk off, but he can't intervene in a doctor trying to save my life. What? I'm sorry, you're a fucking moron? Someone somewhere lied to you, and you need to fucking educate yourself? I'm done with religious people. Not just Christians, not just the Christian fundamentalists. I am done with all religion. Fuckers. Fuckers. Fuck them all. That is called enabling. That is called appeasement. When you say, oh, God's real, but their version of God is distorted. Yeah, I'm sorry. God's not real. Not only is their version of God distorted, but God isn't real in the first place. Religion is a gateway drug to Christian fucking fundamentalism and fascism. That's what it is. It's a gateway drug. So anyway, you can read more of this if you'd like. But this fucking shit is scary. It's horrifying. And anyone that supports this fucking shit at all, they're an enemy. Not just an enemy to me, not just an enemy than anyone who's ever in these situations, but an enemy of humanity, an enemy of the human fucking race. These people, Republicans, religious fucking freaks. And that includes your good fucking Christian fucking family. That includes whatever the fuck. I'm sorry, go fuck yourself with your religion. Go fuck yourself. I fucking hate religious people. I do. I'm sorry. My patience with this fucking shit. The people that do prayers, Jesus is watching us, God is looking over us, and he's going to protect us. And then boom, miscarriage, and then the doctor won't help you. Where was God? I'm sorry, man. Imagine praying to God every day of your life. Oh, like you're a Muslim, you pray to God like 7 times a day or something, and then they never look out for you. What? What? Like, I just, what? Dumb motherfuckers, man. Dumb motherfuckers. Jesus. They do it 5 times a day? Fuck. Well, that's a little less insane. This is, you know, I should have covered this days ago, but I didn't. I'm going to talk about this case in Ohio. The 10-year-old that was raped and impregnated after the rape and then forced to travel from Ohio to Indiana to get an abortion. And the right wing's response to this has been pretty insane. It's been pretty insane. It's just insane. I want to play this clip and then I want to read an associated article. This is the Attorney General of the state of Indiana. So the state of Indiana. So Ohio had a trigger ban. Abortion banned. Sorry. Fuck you. If you're in Ohio, I don't care if you're 10. I don't care if you were raped. You're fucked. Okay? You're in Indiana. The trigger ban, there was like a window for it. Like as soon as Roe v. Wade is overturned, X amount of days later, then it's a total abortion ban. Right? And so they went to this state during that window. And now the Indiana Attorney General says they are going to charge the doctor.
So what's going on?
Let me turn this fucking volume up. Again, we need a universal standard for volume on clips. Like make that, like put that in the Twitter software, like have an equalizer or something.
Todd? So what's going on, Todd?
Jesse, thanks for having me on, but I shouldn't be here, right? I mean, first of all, this is an illegal immigration issue because likely of Biden's lawlessness at the border and everything going on down there. That's why Indiana, as a non-border state, has actually filed several independent lawsuits on that. Then we have the rape, and then we have this abortion activist acting as a doctor with a history of failing to report. So,
are you listening to this? A 10-year-old was raped and had to travel hundreds of miles to get health care. And this guy is saying, oh, this illegal immigrants. And an activist doctor? What?
So we're gathering the information, we're gathering the evidence as we speak, and we're going to fight this to the end. Including looking at her licensure if she failed to report. And in Indiana, it's a crime to not report, to intentionally not report.
They're plastering this doctor's face all over the news because this person saved the life of a 10-year-old who was raped. I need you to get this through your fucking brain. I need you to understand this. They're blaming illegal immigrants. Ohio's abortion ban put this person at risk because of illegal immigrants. What? Indiana's abortion ban that's about to take effect put this girl at risk because of illegal immigrants? What? I need you to understand. I need you to understand. There is no such thing as a good fucking Republican. I need you to understand this. I need you, your fucking stupid fucking cousin that says, oh yeah, look, Donald Trump, you know, he's kind of, you know. I need you to understand. Garbage. Garbage. Your stupid fucking father-in-law, who's always like, you always dread inviting them over to the family gatherings, right? You know, I need you, they're a garbage fucking person. They're garbage. There is no good Republican. Because the good Republicans, they see shit like this and they look the other way. Whoa, what's going on over here? Whoa. It's the same thing with the good cop theory, the theory of good cops. The good cops stand back and watch the bad cops fuck people up. The good Christians stand back and watch people use God to smite the non-believers. There is no good Christian. There is no good Republican. There is no good cop. I'm sorry. The theory's been debunked. You got lied to. Someone somewhere along the way, maybe they were lied to, maybe they weren't doing this nefariously or maliciously, but they got lied to, or they produced a lie and they lied to you. Could have been your parents. Could have been something you saw on TV. Could have been a teacher in 3rd grade. Somewhere along the line, someone lied to you about this mythological good Christian, mythological good Republican, good cop. They don't exist. There is no such thing. So I'm going to read this on Insider. There's a little bit more details here. Indiana's Attorney General said Wednesday that the state would investigate a doctor reported to have given an abortion to a 10-year-old girl from Ohio after her rape. Speaking to Fox News host Jesse Waters, Todd Rokita said, "We are gathering evidence as we speak." Bernard first told the Indianapolis Star that she had carried out the procedure on the girl when she was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant after being raped. The girl traveled from Ohio, Bernard said, where abortion was outlawed after 6 weeks in the wake of Roe v. Wade after Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. Rokita said his office would look at her medical license and whether any procedure was properly reported. Abortion itself remains legal in Indiana until around 20 weeks under state law. On Fox, Rokita attacked Bernard as an abortion activist acting as a doctor. What does that even fucking mean? What does that fucking mean? Abortion activist acting as a doctor. In Indiana, it's a crime to intentionally not report. Waters weighed in against Bernard too, saying, "From what we could find out so far, the Indiana abortion doctor has covered this up." He provided no evidence for that assertion. Waters pointed to allegations that Bernard failed to report similar cases in the past, which were raised in a 2018 complaint against anti-abortion group Indiana Right to Life. It is unclear whether those allegations were ever investigated or upheld. Again, Republicans just lie. They just lie. It doesn't matter. Again, it's like you're playing fucking rock, paper, scissors, right? Rock, paper, scissors, and then, right? And then the person that got scissors, rock is supposed to beat scissors, right? And then the motherfucker goes like this. Right? Oh, at the last minute. You ever meet these motherfuckers? You know, they go like this, right? And then they switch it over to paper. Or even worse, the motherfuckers will be like, "No, scissors beats rock. I don't know what to tell you. Scissors cuts through the rock." What? That's Republicans. They don't care. They don't fucking care. There is no logic. They just lie. They weaponize the English language, and in some cases other language. They weaponize these languages. They weaponize this concept of free speech and debate and good faith. They weaponize. These are tools in the toolbox to enact a fascist agenda. Bernard was not immediately available to respond. Bernard, an OB-GYN who performs abortions, is named as assistant professor of clinical obstetrics and gynecology at the Indianapolis University School of Medicine. She lists her research interests as improving access to contraception and understanding how to decrease unintended pregnancy and improve pregnancy outcomes. The reporting on the 10-year-old has drawn nationwide attention as a touchstone case following the overturning of Roe v. Wade. President Joe Biden spoke of it on July 8th as he signed an executive order to protect access to abortion nationwide. The executive order, not so great, but is it better than nothing? In the literal sense, maybe. But the problem with that is that he's going to claim that this executive order is like, oh, it solved all the problems, and it's like, you know, you got to walk 100 steps. You walk one step, and then boom, you're done for the day. You won? You know, I don't agree with that. I just bashed this fucking ceramic cup against my tooth. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop that. While the WSJ called it too good to confirm, Ohio's Attorney General David Yost dismissed it as a likely fabrication. What is? The story drew initial scrutiny, including articles in the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post, both of which raised the swath of unanswered questions, and in particular the matter of Bernard being the story's only source. Both outlets amended these articles after it emerged that an Ohio man had confessed to raping the girl, providing the important corroboration for the story. Yost has not returned. By the way, so again, Republicans just lied about it. They just said, oh, no, this is fake. This is fake. And then it was like, oh, wait, it's not fake. Well, if it's not fake, it's illegal? Oh, wait, it was legal. Oh, they just lie. They just lie. I need you to understand. There is no such thing as a good Republican, no such thing as a good cop, no such thing as a good Christian. They're all working together to lie to you that they can theoretically be good, and what the goal of saying that kind of stuff is, right? The goal of saying that kind of stuff is to prevent people from actually saying what needs to be said and doing what needs to be done, because they don't want to offend the good Christians. I don't give a fuck about the good Christians. Again, there is no good cop. I don't want to offend the good cops. I don't care about offending the good cops. Why? Because there is no good cop. So fuck that shit. Fuck that fucking shit. Fuck you. Anyway, I'm pissed. I'm mad as hell. This is my water cup, by the way. The green cup is the coffee. This is the water. Dynamite and rock, paper, scissors? What the hell is that about? These motherfuckers. These motherfuckers and their goddams. Fucking hurt my tooth. I had a dream last night that, like, I banged my tooth on something and that it was loose. And so, like, I'm having flashbacks of that dream right now because it's like my tooth is not loose, but I'm feeling what I was feeling in the dream. It's scary. But yeah, anyway, it's my own anxieties, But this is, speaking of anxieties, what is this? Gotta hydrate, yeah, it's true. All right. So, I saw this video in my subscriptions feed. This is a video that was posted on YouTube either this morning or last night at some point in time. You know, I consider myself a subscriber. I consider myself a fan of the Majority Report on YouTube.com. So I saw this video pop up. It's 2 minutes. I watched it. I heavily disagree with this video, and I want to talk about it. So the video is titled, "Leftists Must Differentiate Between Christians and Christian Extremists When Talking About Religion." My opinion, there is no such thing as a good Christian. Christians and Christian extremists are one and the same. They're garbage. So needless to say, I heavily disagree with what Sam Sater is about to say on this program. Now, again, I'm allowed to respectfully disagree. Don't take this as an attack. I recommend watching the Majority Report. You're allowed to disagree with shows that you like. But I want to play this clip here because I think it's just bad. I think it's just not good. So anyway.
Majority Report wardrobe.
Oh, that's loud? Holy shit.
Coordinator. Statement that 10-year-old getting an abortion isn't really an abortion, is business as usual for the Christians. Christians also like to tell themselves, as long as you don't have vaginal sex before marriage, you're still technically pure or holy or whatever. It's like an old SNL skit where they are trying to shrink camels to get through the eye of a needle so rich people could keep their money. Mental illness on full display. Look, do us all a favor. Don't say Christians when you mean Christian fundamentalists.
So my first problem with this critique here is that I'm pretty sure the commenter, myself included, don't mean Christian fundamentalist. We mean Christians. Now, again, my opinion on the concept of a good Christian, I don't think there is a good Christian. When you are a Christian and all you do is defend the concept of faith, what is faith? It is belief in things that not only there's no evidence for these things, but all the evidence in the world proves that they are wrong. Faith is, oh, Jesus is watching me jerk off, angels are in the sky, the snake is talking, and Jesus is great, love Jesus. That's not real. There is no Jesus. It's debatable whether or not there even was ever a Jesus, right? The Bible you read is like a mistranslation where half the books are just missing in the first place, and some king somewhere along the line, King James, whatever the fuck, just wrote a new version of the Bible, right, that just made it way more fucked up. Again, I need you to understand, the idea of magical thinking, enabling the concept of magical thinking, that is my problem. Enabling the idea that people are just allowed to believe in things that are verifiably, demonstrably untrue, that's my problem. I don't accept it. There is no such thing as a good Republican. So anyway, let's continue this.
Or Christian extremists, or religious extremists, or religious fundamentalists. Because really the problem is religious fundamentalists of all stripes. I can assure you that there's a lot of fundamentalist Jews who are on board with all that stuff.
So I also will say that, yes, it is true. That's why I think all religious people are stupid. I don't give a fuck what religion you are. Right? So the idea of just singling out Christians, okay, Christians are the majority. They are the majority in this country, right? So, and again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm attacking Sam Seder. I watch this guy's show all the time. I love Sam Seder, right? I just disagree with this take here. That's my opinion. So just to be very clear, I don't want to turn this into like a battle or anything. But
And as a political matter, you don't want to alienate everybody who identifies as a Christian, or whose parents were Christian, or who was raised Christian, because that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. You don't want them.
So again, my opinion, now this is my opinion as a 26-year-old, right, who is not a politician. My opinion, fuck them. That's my opinion. Like, I, as a queer person, have been alienated by these motherfucking religious people. The good religious people, the bad religious people. They have alienated me my whole life. I've had so-called good Christians say the most fucked up shit and I support the gays, but I don't think gay people should get married. I've had good Christians, so-called good Christians, say the most fucked up shit imaginable. Right? So again, that's my opinion. Like, this idea of like tiptoeing, walking on eggshells around Christians, I disagree wholeheartedly. Right? Again, to enable the concept of magical thinking, I think is against everything leftism stands for, in my opinion. Right? What is leftism? Right? This is my internal, how I define leftism. You take the idea of, I want the best outcomes for every motherfucker on planet Earth. I don't give a fuck who they are. I want the best outcomes for every motherfucker on planet Earth. Right? That's my first principle. I want every human to experience the maximum pleasure that is possibly generated from what human consciousness has to offer, right? That's my goal, right? And so I take that first principle and I logically apply it to everything. Politics, right? You want Medicare for all. You want most people to have, everyone possible to have the best possible health outcomes, right? You want situations like getting food to stop having Roundup chemicals in it. You want clean water. Why? Because that's my logical assessment of politics, right? And so I think it is a disservice. I think it is a bad idea. Now, again, I love Sam Seder on a lot of things. This one I just disagree with, so I wanted to make it a video. It is a bad idea to enable faith. I think enabling faith is appeasement, right? You cannot have a logical discussion with someone that is a religious nutbag, because the most personal thing to their lives is made up. It's made the fuck up, right? Like the IMer said at the beginning, it's mental illness on full display. And I think if someone is a religious person and they believe in God and it's all made up, and that's their most deeply held belief in some bullshit that's not real, it's just fucking stupid garbage. It's like if I said Pokemon is like, it's a historical fact that there used to be Pokemon and they all died in some extinction or something. Like, it's not real. It's stupid garbage, right? But people, all of a sudden you replace fucking Ash Ketchum with Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden you got to tiptoe around these people. I'm sick of it, right? And I'm also, my opinion on this, and I know that atheism was made unpopular by right-wing atheists in the early 2000s, but I say fuck those motherfuckers. Again, you can be an atheist and still have religious, faith-based beliefs, right? Like people like Sam Harris that have these weird faith-based beliefs, like, oh, torture is a good thing. There's no evidence for it. All the evidence points against it. It is a faith-based belief. So you could be an atheist, not believe in God, and still be susceptible and open to magical thinking. And so that's why, again, I'm against all faith. I act purely in what logic has to offer. My first principle is human beings should be allowed to prosper, and I apply that to everything. Everything. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't give a fuck if it's God. I don't give a fuck if it's healthcare. I don't give a fuck if it's torture, whatever. So again, these right-wing atheists, they gave atheism a bad name. They gave anti-theism a bad name. And I understand the pushback against them. But while we are descending into a Christian theocracy, I think the idea that we need to tiptoe around these good Christians, I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry, but I'm done. I'm going to play the rest of this.
To think they mean you. You say fundamentalist Christians, extremist Christians, or I just say religious fundamentalists. Because at the end of the day, because that's the problem.
It's also true.
It's true. I'm just saying, like, you know, all of those things are true, but there's just what's the most effective word.
So, okay, I agree that if you're a politician, it's possibly more effective to specify religious fundamentalists, but that's not what the video is entitled "Leftists Must Differentiate Between Christians and Christian Extremists" when talking about religion, right? The reason why I don't like this video, and I don't like Sam Cedars' take, is that I'm not a politician. The person who sent that IM into his show, not a politician. People on podcasts, like Sam Cedar himself, not politicians, right? And so we can say what the best take on, what if AOC were to talk about something, we can describe what her best take would be from her vantage point. But I'm not a politician. You're not a politician, right? So in my opinion, if you're not a politician and you don't care about, like, oh, appeasing people to get votes or whatever, it's just appeasement is what it is. Again, it's enabling magical thinking. I refuse to enable magical thinking of any kind. Of any kind. I am 100% an anti-theist because I am against magical thinking. Now, again, I want to be very clear. I do like Sam Cedars' show, and I watch the reason why I even saw this video is because I subscribe to Majority Report, and I frequently watch what they put up. Right? I don't have time to watch the shows live or full shows anymore, but I try to watch the clips. But again, I'm so sick of this attitude of walking on eggshells around religious people. 81% of this country believes in God. That's a fucking problem to me. I want to reduce that number. If I can reduce that number to 70%, 60%, 50%, 40%, that's a win. I want to reduce the amount of people that are open in any way to believing in faith. I just think faith is bad. Faith is a bad thing. Faith should not be enabled. And especially, we are in a time period now. I understand 5 years ago, whatever, it was a different world. We are in a time period right now where Christians and theocrats have control of our entire government. They're holding our entire government hostage. 5 years ago, it was a different world, okay? So having this, like, a conversation based on something 5 years ago, I'm sorry, it's a different fucking world. We are in a world where Christian theocrats want to consume everything around them and subject everyone to their fucking garbage. So I'm not at all the kind of person that's going to walk on eggshells around Christians. I'm not going to walk on eggshells around so-called good religious people. I think good religious people are in the same category as good cops. They don't exist, and acting as if they might exist. Now, again, someone can be a good person who happens to be Christian, but that doesn't mean they're a good Christian. Someone can be like a cop who goes home every day, loves his kids, is a great person, you know, they don't beat the shit out of their wife or whatever. But when they are a cop, when they identify as that cop, they are a bad person because they are a cop, right? So again, I'm not going to walk on eggshells around these people. That's my opinion. You're free to disagree. But again, I'm not a politician. I don't give a fuck about appeasement. I'm not going to appease stupid motherfuckers. Faith is garbage. Faith-based thinking is garbage, full stop. And it's about time, in my opinion, that lefties start to bring that back. Anti-theism and atheism started as a left-wing tradition of rejecting systems of hierarchy. And I think we need to go back to that. We can't let other faith-based thinkers take the mantle of atheism. It's a bad thing. Anyway, so that's my opinion on that. The 1960s are a different time period than 2022. Bringing up MLK is just stupid. Again, it's a different fucking time period. But I will say that I think people that believe in God are fucking stupid. And I think that, to be honest with you, the idea that you would believe in God ever is pretty fucking stupid. But I'm not about to judge someone who lived in a completely different time period. There was no internet in 1960. There was no fucking like libraries with all the information in the world, right? We have the internet. We are able to easily verify. Look at scientific progression in 1960. We're at a different point in time. God has been disproved. In 1960, the evidence to disprove God was not as widely available as it is now. In 2022, God's it. It's over. It's done. We disproved that shit a long time ago. But if there were a figure like Martin Luther King Jr. that were to weaponize religion for a good thing, I'd support that, because ultimately, as in the same way that I would support any Democrat against any Republican, even though Joe Biden versus Donald Trump's an easy choice. So yes, I would support people weaponizing Christianity for good things, but ultimately, I think it's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing ultimately on a moral sense. But again, God has been disproven. As far as I'm concerned, all the evidence that would ever need to possibly be constructed to disprove God has been acquired, and it's publicly available online. Anyone can look up the evidence for God or the evidence against God and come to a conclusion. It's not secret. Everyone has a cell phone. Now, again, if you're like, and poor and destitute and you don't have access to the internet, that's one thing. But if you have access to the internet and you believe in God, I just think you're stupid. That's my opinion. I'm sorry. Cornel West, again, if he believes in God in 2022, I think that's pretty fucking stupid. Like, naming a bunch of, people that I agree with on other issues, that's not going to change my opinion. I disagree, Anastasia. I disagree that legislating faith is the central problem. I disagree. I personally do. I'm sorry. Because legislating faith is the natural conclusion of having faith-based beliefs. If 81% of the country believes in shit that's completely made up and all the evidence points against it, then yeah, there is always going to be a contingent of those people that want to legislate in that direction. Exactly, Sinquil. That's why right-wing atheists, again, it's faith-based thinking. That's the same shit. Sam Harris is a faith-based thinker. He has these weird fundamental ideals that are verifiably, demonstrably untrue, and he believes them and promotes them anyway. Like, Sam Harris thinks that there's good Republicans or good conservatives. That's faith. They made it up. I don't know why he believes it. He's a fucking moron. That's just I'm sorry. The natural evolution of what's happening right now is that people believe in made up garbage. And if 81% of the country believes in made up garbage, there's going to be a percentage of that country that's going to try to legislate in that direction. So I say the root problem is faith. The root problem is to destroy and dismantle the idea of faith. That's my opinion. That's a central principle of my belief. But I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry. If it's extreme, I know it's extreme, but I'm an extreme person. I consider myself an extreme leftist. I don't walk away from that label. I don't step on eggshells around that label. I am an extremely far left individual. I am at the maximum of the left-wing perspective. I am maxed out. I'm 99 out of 99, right? I'm 100%. I'm not 90%. I don't half-ass anything. So, again, I walk back. All of my conclusions are logic-based. Now, again, that's my personal politics. Now, if you want to talk about strategy, Like if I were to get like $1 million to write like a movie or something, and I knew that this movie would be shown to all kinds of different people, my message would be different. I would craft my message in a different fashion, right? If I were to like go on a podcast with 1 million people, I would craft my message in a different way, right? That's my point. This is my show. I have 40 viewers. I'm going to say my opinion, right? If I'm going to be put into a different conversation, a different context, I will act accordingly. So that's also something people need to have, a strategy. You can shift your strategy depending on who you're talking to. If you're talking to someone who considers themselves a good Christian, have a different conversation with them than the one I'm having with you. But as far as I'm concerned, this podcast, the point of this is to get my opinions across, and I'm not going to compromise that. He is great 99% of the time. He just tries to see the best in everyone. See, that's the faith-based thinking. That is my problem with like Cornel West. Is that like when you go to Jimmy Dore and refer to Jimmy Dore as a good person and Jimmy Dore is fighting the good fight based on information that you think you understood like 5 years ago, like when you first met him, it's faith-based thinking. Faith is far too easy to use to take advantage of people. Exactly, because churches need and want money from them, and they say and do whatever people are. Now, again, if someone has their own belief, like they made it up, they're not a Christian, but they believe in some form of God, like a simulation theory, right? So it's like if you believe that like there's like someone created a computer code that like was a clone of Earth and this like the Matrix or something, and you believe that that person could be called God, that's fine, right? Because again, it pushes the boundaries of science, right? We don't have the answer to that. Simulation theory hasn't been answered. It's not been disproven, right? The classical religions like Jesus and Yahweh and fucking Muhammad and Joseph Smith, that shit's been disproven. It's verifiably false, right? But if you want to believe that like, ancient aliens like, came to the planet, right? And then, a bunch of stupid motherfuckers wrote books about him and called him Jesus Christ. That is more scientific and more believable than any of the other religions. So again, I'm not here to say if anyone has any sort of like weirdo out there thoughts. I have my out there thoughts that are based on the unknown, and they're based on the unknown because they're the unknown. It's fine to speculate on what's unknown. It's fine to say there might be this, there might be that, and we don't have the answer. But the answer on the God question in the classical religious sense, the answer has been discovered. It's over. It's done. There is no God. You use the same strategy Sam used on his show. I would not. If I had a show with 1 million viewers or 1 million subscribers, I guess, I would say the same thing I'm doing right now. Now, again, if I were to like make a movie, that's like a different art piece, right? Like that's a different style of art. If I were to like, create something that's designed to be in a mass audience, right? Then that's my thing. But if I were to have a podcast, or if my podcast were to have 1 million viewers, it would be because of the stuff that I say right now. And therefore I'd be talking to that viewership. I don't like, if I'm going to try to appeal to a mass audience, I would do that in that context. But I don't care about appealing to a mass audience unless I would be a politician or to make some art piece or something like that. But if I were to ever do a podcast and you ever see me talk about religion in any way other than what I'm doing right now, you need to bonk my fucking head like that dog meme. But that's just my opinion. So again, you can disagree. That's fine, as long as you understand where I'm coming from. This is my opinion. I'm just sick of the God people. Fucking God people, man, let me tell you. All right, let's talk about Bernard. Bernard Sander. Going on live television. This is not live, but he was on ABC this week. And Bernard Sander has some really choice words for President Joe Manchin. And I just want to say this is the Bernard Sander that we need to see everywhere. I know Bernard loves to like play patty cake. In my opinion, he plays too much patty cake. This is the Bernard Sander. This is how Bernard should be talking about Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer as well. This is the good Bernard Sander. Let's watch.
And the agenda there. Senator Joe Manchin, of course, abruptly pulled the plug this week on the Democrats'
Martha,
plans
he didn't
to
abruptly.
pass.
Martha.
Okay.
So real quick, before we get in here, the way that these political events that happen are sanitized by the media is by wording. It's like a game of telephone, right? So the media says, oh, it's abrupt. When I first covered this, I was like, this literally looks like a headline from July 2021. It's not abrupt, right? When you can, it's like if you throw a fucking ball at the wall and then say the ball abruptly bounced off the wall. There's nothing abrupt about it. It's like if I were to turn this cup upside down and then say water abruptly fell from the cup. No, I turned it upside down. That's literally what happens. It's cause and effect. It's you look at what's going to, like you look at what the setup and then you're not surprised at the outcome. So again, picking apart language in the media especially, that's what I like to consider that to be one of my things that I love to do. I love picking apart language. And this is exactly what Bernie is doing here, and that's why I appreciate this so much.
He didn't abruptly, Martha.
Okay, he abruptly on Friday.
He didn't abruptly do anything.
He was negotiating
sabotaged
for a while.
the president's agenda. No. Look, if you check the record 6 months ago, I made it clear that you have people like Manchin, Sinema to a lesser degree, who are intentionally sabotaging the president's agenda, what the American people...
Like the idea that the media somehow is the same media that did the Trump lie trackers somehow believe that no other politician can lie. So the idea that Joe Manchin might say, oh yeah, I'll support this and not that and this and that, and then 2 weeks later saying, fuck the whole thing. But they just think, oh, he was negotiating. Was he? No, he was lying. And you dumb motherfuckers believed him. And that's what's important about this pushback from Bernard Sander.
People want what a majority of us in the Democratic caucus want. Nothing new about this. And the problem was that we continue to talk to Manchin like he was serious. He was not. This is a guy who is a major recipient of fossil fuel money, a guy who has received campaign contributions from 25 Republican billionaires. Do you think this guy is serious?
Senator, you say he wasn't serious, but Manchin says his main goal is to do what's good for West.
You say that Joe Manchin was a liar, but Joe Manchin said, I am not a liar, so... You don't... Okay, so the claim is that someone's a liar. And if they say, I'm not a liar, that's not disproving the claim. Because if they were a liar, of course they would say, I'm not a liar. Because if they're okay with lying, then they're going to say whatever they need to say in order to advance their political agenda. This idea, again, that Joe Manchin can never lie. It's impossible. He'll never lie. He's incapable of lying. He's a great person.
Virginia, and he's worried about inflation. Listen to what he told the West Virginia radio station. Listen to this, please.
Is that right?
They cut him off! They cut him off! Oh!
His main goal is to do what's good for West Virginia, and he's worried about inflation. Listen to what he told the West Virginia radio station. Listen to this, please.
Is that right?
Inflation is absolutely killing many, many people. They can't buy gasoline. They have a hard time buying groceries. Everything they buy and consume for their daily lives is a hardship to them.
Your reaction to that, Senator?
Well, look, the same nonsense that Manchin has been talking about for a year. West Virginia, it's a beautiful state. I've had the pleasure of being there. Great people. It is one of the poorest states in this country. You ask the people of West Virginia whether they want to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing, and eyeglasses. You ask the people of West Virginia whether we should demand that the wealthiest people in large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes. Ask the people of West Virginia whether or not all people should have health care as a human right like in every other country on earth. That's what they will say. In my humble opinion, Manchin represents the very wealthiest people in this country, not working families in West Virginia or America.
And Senator Sanders, I want to end with, if these provisions don't get passed, doesn't look like they will, what does that mean for Democrats' climate goals and the climate itself?
Martha, it ain't Democrats. It isn't the president. It is the future of the planet. So
I gotta find the rest of this clip, but goddamn, that's the Bernard that we need. That is the Bernard that just it's just, I mean, again, the language, abrupt, right? That's how, because people don't have bullshit detectors in this country. People don't know how to look at something and then go like, oh, that's bullshit. Right? So the media takes advantage of that. The cops take advantage of that. That's why they lie about it. Oh, remember George Floyd, when he was murdered by the police, the original police press release was like a man died of a medical incident and the cops tried to render aid. Right? But then people read that and they go like, oh yeah, okay. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. I really need you to understand. These people are liars. They are liars and freaks. And so this is the kind of Bernard that we need to, like, when Bernard does this kind of shit, we need to be very positive about it, and we need to get him to do this more. And he should have done this in that March debate with Joe Biden in 2020. Remember that weird-ass debate that was, like, during the first COVID debate when Joe Biden was... Remember when Joe Biden was one of those weird anti-COVID people and he was telling people, go vote in person. COVID's not real. Remember? Joe Biden said that. Simone Sanders, not related to Bernie Sanders, Simone Sanders, Joe Biden's press person during the campaign, said, go vote in person during the height of the first coronavirus wave, right? But then all of a sudden now, like, that I want that to really inform your opinion on how Joe Biden's handling COVID now, because he's gone back to that position. When he was going up against Trump, COVID, we're going to fight COVID, we're going to win against COVID. And then as soon as he won the election, he went right back to what he was doing before that during the primary. And again, Bernie Sanders had an opportunity to point that out, and he didn't. And that's a problem. But this, again, this is the Bernard that we need. Just anywhere and everywhere. I mean, the time for patty cake with these people, I think, is long past us. But anyway, there you go. That's Bernard. Got that Bernard Sander. All right, y'all. We're going to get into movie time. I watched a couple of films yesterday, and then I watched Westworld, which I'll talk about. But how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling about the program today? Great job as always. I'll try my best. It's all good, Abner. It's all good. You gotta go back and watch the ep, Andrew Kohler. I just got here, but I like it. Rage Tyrannosaurus. Go back and rewind. I actually saw an advertisement for that show when I was watching Westworld last night, because when you watch an HBO show, they'll do like a pre-roll skippable ad that shows some of their other HBO stuff. And I might check it out. I gotta watch the original though. Alright, so yesterday I did, well, needless to say, as I do every weekend, a couple inches of magical fungus. And I watched this movie, They Live, for the first time. John Carpenter's They Live. And it's a movie about a non-binary television host that does a live show, and that's why it's called They Live. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, this movie, especially for the shrooms, wow. I mean, it was great. I'm going to be honest, I had to pause halfway through the movie because I was having a little bit of a hard time with my experience. But I've never seen this movie before. And I thought it was really fucking good. So that's not true at all. Freak glitch. I've never seen the movie before. I think they reviewed it on their own, but I did not. Anyway, so the movie is like some like down on his luck, like blonde guy who's like a wrestler or something, but in the real world he's a wrestler, not in the movie. Is like trying to get some work. He runs into some guy who helps him like find a place to sleep. And then like he's like looking off to a church. He goes inside the church, he breaks in, and he finds these weird glasses, and he finds that the church is playing like hymns through a speaker. And there's not really a church. And then he puts the glasses on. Now, this is what the part with the shrooms was really difficult for me to handle, was when they were taking the glasses on and off. When you put the glasses on, it's like a black and white like kind of thing to differentiate between what's in the glasses version of looking and what's in the real version of looking. And so he puts the glasses on, he finds that all like the posters, everything has like subliminal messaging, like obey, like marry and reproduce, consume, conform. Now, upon reading into a little bit of this movie's political messaging, this movie was obviously created during Ronald Reagan's America, and it is a critique against Republicans in power. So I'm aware that Republicans like this movie. If you're a Republican and you like They Live, you're a fucking moron. I don't know what to tell you. You're stupid fucking idiots, okay? Shut the fuck up with your fucking stupid ass fucking garbage. Read a fucking book and learn how to interpret a fucking movie for once in your fucking goddamn life. I'm sick of these Republicans. The same with those Republicans that appropriate the red pill from the Matrix. Jesus fucking Christ, go fuck yourself. Anyway, side rant. So he puts the glasses on, he discovers, oh shit, the whole world's a lie. One of my favorite parts of this movie is when he's running around the first time he has the glasses on, right? And he's like, his idea of like resisting, #resist, is just by calling people, like, so like the aliens kill and replace the humans, right? Like they dress up in the skin suits or whatever, and the glasses show you like who's an alien and who's actually a human. So what he does is he just starts insulting the aliens. Like one of my favorite lines, I forget what it was exactly, but he was looking at an alien, like an old lady alien, and it was like, your face reminds me of the cheese dip from 1957, or like some shit. Like, what? Like, who writes that? You remind me of leftover cheese dip from 1950, something like that. And so Jesus fucking Christ, it was really funny. But anyway, so then he realizes that's not gonna work, and then the aliens like start hunting him down, and then he looks for his friend from like the construction job that he had. Then they get into like this like fucking 5-minute wrestling sequence because he wants him to put the glasses on and he doesn't want to. So there's like a 5-minute wrestling sequence for no reason. It was so long, and every time like you think okay, it's over, right? And then they start walking away. Nope, no, it's literally like he just runs at him and starts fighting again. And then it's like, all right, I won the battle, I'm just gonna walk away. Nope, and then he like, oh, it's so good. And then, so then he gives his friend the glasses, and then he's like, oh shit, I guess, you know, I do some crazy glasses. And then they try to like come, you know, to join like a resistance, an underground resistance kind of thing. And then eventually they find a way to warp to like the television studio, and then the final battle is trying to destroy one of the satellites. But like the message is like, the message from one of the guys, like a fellow human, right, that sees them on the ship and assumes that they're sellouts, right? Because the whole idea, right, is that like, oh, we'll just pay off the humans, they'll buy some fancy cars, and then they'll do whatever we want. And that's real. That's a real thing. You ever see these people that like are poor and then they win the lottery, and then they ditch all their poor friends, and then they just like, you know, start buying a bunch of shit. They go into massive debt like 2 years later, and then they fucking collapse. And then all their friends are like, bro, you totally sold us out. And they're like, yeah. Right. So anyway, like, that's kind of what that's picking at, is poor people. A lot of poor people will do anything that they can in this country. They're temporarily embarrassed billionaires, right? They have that mentality where it's like, oh, I'll be rich one day. And so they defend rich people at all costs, so that if they ever do get their big break, and chances are they won't, but if they ever do, then they'll sell people out immediately. So anyway, so he goes up there and then tries to destroy the satellite. But does that really do anything? Like, okay, you destroyed the satellite and then they kill you? They're just going to replace the satellite, you know? But at the end, the scene where like all the signals drop or whatever, and people see the aliens, right? There's like the mass, like, you know, but is that going to work? Oh, okay, they're aliens now? That's like, oh, they're Republicans. Is that, okay, now we know they're aliens. They're just going to kill everyone that doesn't conform, right? So, anyway, the scenes, by the way, with the LAPD destroying the homeless encampment near the start, that was, like, really brutally realistic to watch. Like, the shooting shotguns into a crowd of homeless people thing, like... Anyway, They Live. What a fucking movie. What a movie. I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. Anastasia's about to brag about something. Uh-oh. Brace for impact. I'm out of water. A poinsettia still alive from Christmas. I don't even know how to interpret that. Makes me happy that you enjoy movies that us Gen Xers and older millennials enjoyed as kids. I'm a little bit of a cinephile, you know, so just a little bit. All right, so I watched another 80s movie last night. I watched Without Warning. And the poster here kind of gives the game away, but you know what? It's a cool poster. Anyway, this movie, it is a cheese fest. It is a cheese fest. This is one of those classic 80s horror movies where all, like, the actors are, like, way over the top, right? They're all weirdos. They all overact, and they, like... So anyway, so there's an alien who's like hunting humans in like this park or something, like, you know, like a forest, right? And so like the opening shot is just like a bunch of their first victims, and then like a group of kids, because it's always a group of like fucking like 19-year-olds or whatever, 18-year-olds, right? They go out, you know, to like camp for whatever, and honestly, this movie, again, it was so cheesy, but it's that really good kind of cheesy. The cheesy that when you laugh at it, it just makes you enjoy the movie more. And when you don't laugh, when you're just thinking, oh, this is kind of cool, right? Like, it's just a good movie. Like, I love cheesy movies. You know, a lot of people, they don't like cheesy movies, in my opinion. I think they have a low IQ. But anyway, so the kids go out there. Two of them, there's, you know, 2 boys, 2 girls. Whoa, right? And then 2 of them are trying to fuck on the beach or something, or this lake, and then the alien kills them. And then the other 2 are looking for them, and then they find their dead bodies in a shack, right? And that's where they fight and run away from the alien. They go to a bar, and then there's like this guy with PTSD from Vietnam or something, who has seen the aliens and believes in them, but he's also got PTSD. Is there booba in this movie? Yes, there's plenty of titty scenes, especially like if you like dead bitches. If you're a necrophile, you'll love this movie because there's a dead bitch hanging on the thing, and you know there's right there. Anyway, so this Sarge guy, he's like a Vietnam vet who's got PTSD and he's kind of nutso, right? Then he like is starting to try to hunt down the kids that are working with another guy trying to kill the aliens because he's fucking crazy. But then he meets the alien, and then the final scene where they're trying to blow up the alien with the fucking Vietnam vet guy, that was fun. I mean, like, this movie, again, it's a cheese fest. It's a really cheesy fucking movie. And it's good. I like it. This is my kind of shit. I love cheesy movies. 80s movies with the cheese, they hit different. They hit different. 80s cheese movies, man. Holy fucking crap. They're just like, I don't know, man. Like, the 80s, I guess, was a time period where, like, anyone could start making movies. Like, there was, like, more and more people were able to make movies with less and less, like, skill, I guess. And it produces this amazing result, such as Without Warning. There's a lot of scenes where it's, like, from the alien POV, point of view. Like, so the alien is in the bush, like, looking at the humans running around. That's kind of cool, right? And it's just, like, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Without Warning. If it sounds good to you, check it the fuck out. It dropped most of its leaves over time and sprouted green ones. The key is to water. Okay. Well, that's great. I'm happy for you. I don't really know red-leafed plants. I've never celebrated Christmas where people have red-leafed plants, so I don't know. But thank you for that story because you're educating me. All right, coming up next, I'm going to talk about Westworld. If you don't want to get spoiled, now's the time to leave the show. Thank you for watching. If you've seen Westworld last night, then continue to watch, because it's going to get good. But hopefully everyone had a good day, good watching the show. Today I'm going to try to like catch up on these clips. And you know, try to get same day posting going on, but doing my best here. All right. So let's talk about some goddamn Westworld. What a show. I mean, seriously, what a fucking show. What a goddamn show. Here's Aaron Paul with this Thompson gun. Fucking Thompsons, am I right, people? Anyway, what a show. Westworld last night, season 4, episode 4. Fuck. I mean, they blew the whole fucking season wide open. They blew it wide open. They always do this. I always think, like, starting, like, Westworld, I binged this show, like, up until season 1 through 3. I binged it, like, last month or something. Maybe the month before now. I don't know. I'm losing my ability to perceive time. But anyway, I always think I can predict, because I know that this show is, like, trying to throw a bunch of unpredictable bullshit at you. And I'm always trying to see if I can predict it. And I always fail. They always get me. But anyway, so it's, you know, it's the big scoops in this episode. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, get the fuck out. Turn it off. Shut the fuck up. Turn it off. If you're any way interested in Westworld, in fact, just seeing this picture is too much. You need to turn it the fuck off, okay? I'm not even joking. Whoa, shut the fuck up. Turn the show off. Go watch the show. So that's your final warning. Anyway. So Aaron Paul's character in the last episode was like fucking absorbed by flies or something. Like, flies are now parasites that can control the humans. Right? And so the whole show so far has been taking place 8 years after season 3. Right? In the last episode, episode 3, they brought Bernard back, where we are assuming that we are 8 years after the events of season 3. Turns out, by the way, it's been 23 years since season 3. And again, the scoops, holy shit, Aaron Paul has been dead the whole time. Oh, I'm losing it, man. I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. Aaron Paul's fucking dead. He's fucking dead. I know. I was blown away. How did I not see this coming until... I mean, I saw it coming like 5 minutes before it happened, but like, I should have saw this coming like fucking a month ago. He's been dead the whole time. So anyway, so the Bernard scenes from the previous episodes, right? They're 23 years after season 3. The Aaron Paul scenes are 8 years after season 3. And then he dies, right? And then but Aaron Paul's brought back as a host, which is the robot, right? And so Dolores, but the evil Dolores, has been forcing Aaron Paul to relive like that window before he died, been forcing him to relive it over and over and over again. And then again, so then he realizes he's been dead the whole time. And then we realize one of the characters from the Bernard timeline is actually Aaron Paul's kid, who's been searching for Aaron. Oh my God. I'm blown away. Blown away. These motherfuckers, man. Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan are the writers for this show. These fucking fuckers, every time, I think I'm able, okay, I think that's gonna be and then that's that, and then nope, everything I thought is thrown away. These fuckers, man, I swear to God. So anyway, Bernard is so that means Bernard spent 23,000 years in the quantum verse instead of 8,000 as we previously assumed. So he spent 23,000 years in the quantum verse, and he fucking finds Maeve's corpse, right, and tries to resurrect Maeve. I'm guessing that's going to happen in the next episode. So Maeve died as well as Aaron Paul 8 years after season 3, right? Aaron Paul is now being tortured as a host over and over and over again by evil Dolores, right? And Maeve's corpse is in the desert somewhere, because in between the 8 years after season 3 timeline and the 23 years after season 3 timeline, the Chicago Westworld was blown away by a desert of some kind. So her corpse is in there. Bernard gets Maeve's corpse, and then it's revealed that the person working with Bernard is actually Caleb's daughter, or Caleb is Aaron Paul's character daughter. It's just so good. I mean, I'm blown away. I really can't. And then the scenes where Aaron Paul's character Caleb is getting parasitically controlled by Dolores and is trying to kill Maeve with the Thompson gun, but instead he kills Ed Harris's character. It's just so good. I mean, I'm blown away. I really, again, I'm blown away. This is a show. You watch this show, and it changes your perception of what art and cinema is even capable of. I mean, it's a great show. I can't recommend it enough. It's, to me, I think Westworld is firmly in the same category as Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Those are some of my favorite shows, if not my favorite shows. I think this is firmly in that category. What a good fucking show. And again, if you fucking let me spoil this shit for you, it's a cognito hazard. You have destroyed the rest of your life. You have literally, because you're such a selfish little cocksucker motherfucker, and you're oh, I want to watch an extra 5 minutes of the show. You have destroyed the rest of your life. You will never, ever, ever, ever have the experience of watching Westworld without spoilers. And again, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you because, Jesus, holy shit, this show is so good. It's so good. Anyway, goddamn, I'm excited for next week. Holy fucking fuck. What a program. I'm going to turn my AC on. All right, I turned my AC on. Anyway, that's the show. That's it. That's all I got. Tonight's Better Call, so I'm excited. Been into the television lately. I'm a consumer. Yeah, that's right. I'm consuming. So what? Let's see if we can get Max over here. Maxie! Max! Maxie! Max! That motherfucker is on drugs and he's on the floor, so doesn't look like it's going to be happening. But I assure you, he is alive. Maxie! Max! Max! Maxie, come here! Oh, he's up. He's coming. He's coming. Max! Check this out, check. Max! Look. You can't see him yet, but he's right here. Hi. Come here, come here. It's Max the dog. Look at this fucking animal. Look at this puppy. I love this dog. I love him. Come on, Max. Come here. Show your face. Come here. He doesn't want to step over the Ethernet cable. Come on, Max. Oh, good boy. Don't you just love dogs? Don't you just love dogs? Anyway. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you again tomorrow.
I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa, I am not up to the job.
Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same. Read the polls, Jack. Read the polls, Jack. Read the polls, Jack. You got read the polls, Jack. Polls, Jack. 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 Read the polls, Jack. 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 You guys are all the same.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree. I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Force the vote, sure, was a failure.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield.
Get your words straight, Jack.